Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited, we are on the record. Hi everyone, I'm Sarina Fazan. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm a journalist, producer, and the host of On the Record, and today we're talking about a very important issue, our health. Joining us, Allison Kropff, coming back to the show. Allison, it's so great to see you. Woman of Impact, we're talking about that. Amanda Palumbo, who is the executive director of the American Heart Association here in Tampa. You go, girl. I mean, before I was telling Allison, how old was she when she started, like 10? Oh my gosh, you've been with how long have you been with the American Heart Association?
I've been with the American Heart Association about 10 years.
It's wonderful to have you, and it's so great to see such strong women, you know, on the show.
Yeah.
I should have worn red. I apologize about that.
We've got plenty of it.
Yeah,
It was great. So, guys, let's get started. Allison, you have been nominated as a woman of impact. Tell us what that means.
So it was an opportunity that the American Heart Association came to me with, that it's a 9-week fundraising and awareness campaign for our health, women's heart health, and how important it is to get conversations started about what we should be doing for caring for ourselves. And so women all across the country are nominees as a woman of impact with the American Heart Association. And so this is taking place all over the country to raise money and to raise awareness for this. But it's such an honor because the American Heart Association has been so important to me the entire time that I've lived here in Tampa Bay. And I've been a part of the luncheon, the Go Red for Women luncheon, and different stories that we've done with the Heart Association. So it's been something that's very important to me. So the passion for being nominated as a woman of impact just makes sense because it's something that I was already doing, and now I have a different platform that we can help raise money and awareness.
Well, we are so honored that you are on the show, and we want the viewers to know that there is a QR code that they simply need to scan and can support you, that we're holding up for the entire duration of the show. So we do encourage you to do that. So Amanda, Allison, of course, is a very familiar face here in the Tampa area. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, you know, we have viewers all over the world now, which I'm so thankful, but why Allison was an important face?
Yeah, so when we launched this Women of Impact campaign, our goal was really to engage women throughout the community that are really passionate about our mission, find a way to invite them to come alongside us and help support the work the American Heart Association does. So when we thought here in Tampa Bay, who's that right person? Allison, you were one of the first people that popped into our mind, of course, because we've worked with you for so long, and your passion for our mission is so genuine. And so we chatted with Allison, asked her if she would join us as the inaugural class this year in Tampa Bay, again joining hundreds of women across the country that are participating in this effort to raise awareness and raise funds to fuel our mission.
And you know, for those who may not know, so Allison was a very long time anchor at the local CBS station in the Tampa Bay area, and it was a surprise to many that when you decided to leave the station, you're doing so many amazing things now, clearly the Woman of Impact. But if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can revisit one of the shows we did, a Love in America episode, that you can learn so much more about Allison and her decision and why she chose to do it. But back to this, the Woman of Impact. So this is the inaugural year here in Tampa. But it's the second year for the American Heart Association, from what I understand. Why did this happen in the first place? And I know you touched on it, Amanda, already, but if you could expand a little bit.
Of course, yeah. So this really launched as an effort to find new ways to invite women to come alongside us. So we are so grateful for the many supporters that we have here in Tampa Bay and across the country. But you know, we have women here that donate to us and join our Circle of Red, which is a membership committee. We have women that sit on our executive cabinet and guide our Go Red movement. And we thought, gosh, there's just got to be a new way to get women involved, to engage their networks. And every woman across the country that's participating is doing this differently. So some women have created a team underneath them that are helping to support, raise funds, raise awareness. Some are working with a local retailer to do a point of sale campaign to bring funds back to the Heart Association. Some, like Allison, leveraging their media network so we can have great conversations like this. So it really looks different for every woman, and what we're trying to do is tap into their passion and the networks that they have to create this nationwide network of women supporting us.
Allison, I am so flattered that, I mean, when you said that Allison is tapping into her media contacts. So I would be one of those media contacts. Yay, get to do a show. So tell us what else you're doing and how else the community can help you. And how long is the campaign?
It's a 9-week campaign, so it ends on April 7th. And of course, it kicked off for Heart Month. February is Heart Month. And we're already having the conversations about heart health and women's heart health. So what a better time to launch this and to really help people get involved. You know, you can get involved with me. We've got the QR code and the link that we've given to you. If you go there, you're going to learn a little bit more about my why and the reason that I'm so passionate about the Heart Association. But you can also learn about different things that are taking place in your communities. And yes, it's about donations and it's about awareness, but every little bit helps get to that point where we can make our lives and our communities healthier. And that's the point of it. No donation is too big or too small. No, too big, of course, right? No donation is too big, but no donation is too small either, because all of that money comes into our local communities and is helping us make us healthier.
Why are you so passionate about it?
It was something in the beginning when I first came here to Tampa Bay that I just was always passionate about because of Heart Month. And you know, you knew you wore red on a certain day and it was about Go Red for Women. So I wanted to get involved because women's heart health is important to me as a woman. But then also in January of 2020, my grandmother, Louise, she passed away from complications of stroke. And I think, thank you. I think we all talk about heart disease and we talk about stroke, but until maybe you know somebody that's been through something, it doesn't impact you, right? When that happens, you have that emotion toward, or an anger toward stroke or those complications. And so it hit a little bit different, even though I was passionate and met many women that had, you know, heart disease in their family or they themselves had heart disease. Through the luncheon, I met so many strong women that shared their stories. And then when you had it impact your family, you were like, we got to do something about this. There's got to be ways that we can help women continue to be heart healthy. So my grandma Louise is my why. It was really touching to have the luncheon a month after she had passed away in 2020, because I felt like I was honoring her in that way, to be there at that luncheon and to talk about that personal part of my life. So it wasn't just wearing red, right? We don't just wear red. It is a mission to make sure that we're making our communities healthier.
And you know, in the second half of the show, I want to talk more about the American Heart Association and really the impact, not just on women, but on men and people of all ages, right? So we'll talk about more on the health aspect of it. But back to the Women of Impact, and again, for those who might just be joining us, we do have your QR code up that people can just scan. And as you said, no donation is, you know, too small at all. Even $1. I mean, $1 goes a long way. $1 to however much you like to donate. But so Amanda, to you now with this fundraising effort, it's very exciting. I mean, you know, I guess there's like great competition in all of this, right? It can make it really, really fun. So it's hundreds of women across the nation. So how is the winner going to be announced? Do we know yet? And is it the person who raises the most money, or what is going to factor into that?
Well, there is a combination of things. So there's kind of a point system. Allison and I were just talking through of different ways that she can earn points. Of course, the majority of that is the funds that she's able to raise at the end of the day. We have our Go Red for Women luncheon that's coming up on March 23rd. And at that, we definitely plan to recognize Allison. And we have one other nominee here in Tampa Bay who's a survivor. So we will use it as kind of a halfway mark through the campaign and celebrate. And then come April, when the campaign wraps up, there will be a national winner. We haven't exactly determined what that celebration will look like, but I can guarantee there will be a great celebration nationally for that winner. And hopefully that winner is coming from Tampa. We can take care of the celebration here too.
It's a competition, of course. Yes. Like there is, you know, the passion behind it, and the reason we're doing it is women's heart health, but also like I'm competitive, so
we can't help it, right? You just can't help it. And especially in news, you just can't help it.
Yeah,
you know?
And you want to do it for your community, because this is where we live and where we, you know, walk on Bayshore and where we go on hiking trails and, you know, go to the beach and go swimming. We're doing all of these things in our community to stay healthy, and we're wanting to keep women here healthy. So if we can make sure that Tampa Bay is recognized for that, that's pretty special.
Absolutely. And you know, Amanda, when you mentioned, you know, all the women across the country are doing different things. Allison is leveraging some of her media contacts. But I would challenge people too out there, and let's strategize, girls, because we want, you know, American Heart Association is based in Dallas, right? Allie, we want you to head to Dallas for this big announcement and then come back on the show. Maybe I can go with you. Wouldn't that be cool? We can stream it.
Sure.
All right, so what can we ask the viewers and people that are watching? Like, what would be some of your dream fundraising events? Would it be, I suggested maybe we could be celebrity bartenders at a local restaurant or something?
When we started discussing, when I talked to Sarina about this, because I thought she's got a great outreach, she's great in the community, she does a lot for the community.
Oh, you're so
and then
sweet.
as soon as I told her, it was like, we're a list of things that we could do for fundraising, which is great. And that's the kind of network that we need. It's not just about me, it's about the community. So to get different people involved from different parts of our community is perfect. So it would be just if you have any ideas, right? And you're like, hey, I've done fundraising for this, try this out. And you can get me on social media. I'm gonna be tweeting about this and putting it on Facebook and Instagram constantly. So there's plenty of opportunity to reach out and say, hey, I have a great idea for you. This could be a great fundraising opportunity. And also just an opportunity to speak to people about heart health.
Absolutely. So we have 7 weeks. So with me, you can also reach me on social media, but we also have SFN Teen, so the Sarina Fazan Network team at sarinafazan.tv. I would love to get some ideas. And, you know, maybe there's a local restaurant again out there, or maybe a local dress shop, or a local owner.
You see the wheels?
Yes. Yes. And we could, you know, like let's make the ask on air, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. Absolutely. So okay, so I know, of course, it's the fundraising. Is there a goal for the American Heart Association? Have they put that out there? Is there a number goal for them?
Not necessarily a number goal, but really to spread awareness. The more women that we can engage in our mission that know and understand cardiovascular disease is their greatest health risk, that's the win for us. You know, we say often that 1 in 3 women die from cardiovascular disease, but one is too many. Right. And so really that at the end of the day is what we're trying to accomplish here, is to continue to spread that mission and to bring passionate supporters alongside us to help us do so.
Wow, you know, that number, that is such a staggering statistic. So with that in mind, why don't we go to a break a little bit earlier, because I want to come back and talk more about, you know, the health aspect of it. And we need to, those numbers, I mean, they're scary. They're scary. All right, so stay with us, everybody, and we'll be right back. I'm Sarina Fazan, a journalist, producer, and podcast host. With a background in television news, I know how much time and talent it takes to produce a broadcast quality production. But no more. Red House Streaming offers a simple, cost-effective method for capturing live action and streaming it in real time to YouTube, Facebook, or any other website. From single camera shoots or multi-camera productions, conventional or virtual sets, and from the state-of-the-art Red House Streaming Studios to remote locations, the professional crew at Red House Streaming, backed by the technology and reputation of CP Communications, allows you to produce more content at a lower cost and with little to no engineering required. That's why my podcast, On the Record with Sarina Fazan, is streamed live from the Red House Streaming Studios each week. Contact Red House Streaming today at 800-762-4254 or online at cpcoms.com to learn more. I'll see you in the studio.
At Precision, our mission is more than fixing broken garage doors
I think it looks great.
and selling new ones.
It looks amazing.
We aim to help those in need and to honor and lift up those who are making a difference
Thank you so much.
through our outreach program called Opening Doors in Our Community. People like Steve Chamberlain, who is fitting kids with prosthetic legs,
The people I've met, the families, we've changed so many lives.
or members of the military,
I'm the airman.
Oh boy, and I'm the Army.
like Frank Elliott,
We're teamwork, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That's why we're here for you today.
We appreciate
Help you
that.
out. We appreciate you.
and of course the people on the front lines during COVID, like Jessica, an ER nurse. At Precision, we want to thank everyday heroes for all you do. It was an honor to help you, and together, we are opening doors in our community.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to On the Record. I'm joined with Allison Kropff, nominated for Woman of Impact for the American Heart Association. Yeah. Amanda Palumbo. Palumbo? I just said
yes.
Palumbo.
It's all good. I've gotten it before.
Too much coffee today, guys. The Executive Director of the American Heart Association here in the Tampa Bay area. So, Amanda, let's talk about, well, before, if people are joining us late, Allison, why don't we start with you again and tell us about the Woman of Impact.
So I've been nominated through the American Heart Association as the Go Red for Women Woman of Impact. It's a 9-week campaign raising funds and raising awareness for women's heart health and how impactful heart disease is on women. And it's a fundraising campaign, of course, so we're trying to raise money and we're trying to win this competition. So,
and we're behind you.
Yes, which is great, but it's also about making sure that we're talking about heart health. February is Heart Month, and it is so important to talk about heart disease being the #1 killer of women, which I think every time you say that, I think we know that, we're hearing that a lot, but then when you actually think about that and the ways that it is preventable, there are things that we can all be doing every single day to prevent it and stay heart healthy. So I think as much as, yes, it's about raising funds, it's also about having those conversations with important women in our lives.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's so surprising to hear that, I know we do hear it all the time, that it is the #1 killer of women. Amanda, why is that? And what can we do to help prevent it?
Yeah, cardiovascular disease is so prevalent. And we find that women often don't know that it is their greatest health risk. It kills more women than all forms of cancer combined.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, that's a really startling statistic,
Yes.
and most people don't realize and don't know that. And so our Go Red for Women campaign really started as an awareness effort to make sure that women knew and understood that and knew the warning signs. I mean, we especially see amongst younger populations, they have no idea that cardiovascular disease is their greatest health risk. They think of it as like a kind of an old man's disease, and it's not. And so we're really trying to help women understand what their risk is, what the symptoms are of a heart attack or stroke, and to make sure that they know their health, they know their numbers, they're visiting their doctor, and they're staying in tune with their own health. Because as you know, women tend to prioritize their families sometimes over themselves. We often say that women are kind of the CEO of the household.
Absolutely.
Right? And with that comes taking care of everybody else and not necessarily themselves. So that's what this movement is about, is trying to help women take ownership of their own health.
You know, we were just talking on a recent show about Kelly Stafford, you know, Matt Stafford's wife, of course, the quarterback for the Rams. And, you know, she had a brain tumor, and they have 4 girls under the age of 5. And speaking of moms always thinking about the kids, she was feeling vertigo, and she just thought, oh, I'm just so, you know, it's the girls, and I can't keep up.
I'm so tired.
I'm so tired. And then to find out that, thank goodness she's okay, but she had a brain tumor, you know? So I just say that because of what you said, Amanda, we always put our families first. We can't help it. It's just like ingrained in us. But talk to us, what is, with heart, is it hereditary, first of all?
Well, yes and no. So about 80% of cardiovascular disease is preventable. So there's about 20% that is hereditary, but 80% that you can control. And so with that, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You know, we're not asking everyone to start running marathons tomorrow or become vegan. We're asking everyone just to make small, simple steps to take control of their health. And really the first step, we always encourage everyone to make sure you have your primary care doctor and make sure that you're going to those appointments. We've seen over COVID that folks haven't been going to their primary care doctors. They've been postponing those appointments because other priorities have popped up. And so that's really a great place to start, is to go to your primary care doctor, you know, do your blood count and know and understand what your risks are.
What are the symptoms?
Yeah, so, well, you know, with cardiovascular disease, sometimes the first symptom is death. So unlike the brain tumor example that you gave, you know, if you may not feel it coming on because sometimes you ignore those symptoms, or you just aren't aware that you have them. Blood pressure, which is one of our nation's greatest health risks, we often call the silent killer because you don't necessarily know that you have it until you go get your blood pressure checked. And so, you know, to answer your question, also with a heart attack, the symptoms in a woman might be a little bit different than in a man. So if you think of a heart attack and you think you've seen the movies, right? You've seen the elephant on the chest. Whereas with a woman, sometimes it's pain in the left arm, pain in the jaw. And so we just really encourage everyone, especially women, to know their numbers, know their health risk, and be really aware and in tune with their body. So if they feel something that doesn't feel right, get help. You're not going to regret it. Get help. It's the better way to go.
And if there was one thing that would come out of this with explaining that if a woman watching, all they did was just go figure out their numbers, is the first step to when we're asking for people to make these small changes. That's the biggest small change you can make, because you know where you're starting from. What do I need to improve? What do I need to do? And then the other things are easy, like getting exercise and making sure you eat a little bit healthier. They all can be very small things that you can do to get closer to being healthy and getting rid of that 80% that's preventable.
And when you guys say that, that's the small things that you can do, right? So what are some of the things that you do?
Well, one of the things that was a goal of mine for the year, one, I knew that the Woman of Impact was coming up, and I thought, you better practice what you preach. You better not be telling people to do it. And so exercise has just always been something that I have always put off. Everything else in the day comes before putting in a workout. It just always has been for me. And so I really am trying to make it this year, and I am not perfect, but trying to make it this year that I do something every day. And if it is just a walk, or if it is a full-blown 30-minute, 45-minute workout, at least I'm doing something, so I'm not just sitting around. Because I think COVID was hard.
Yeah.
I think it was really easy for all of us to get into that routine of, we're sad and this is difficult and I'm scared, so I'm going to, curl up in a ball on my couch or in bed and just wait for it to be over. But I think we need to come out of that now and, get back into a little bit more of an active lifestyle.
Absolutely. And people were, when you were talking about the doctor's appointments, people were even afraid to go to the doctor, even to leave the house to go to the doctor, You were going to say something, though, Amanda.
I was just going to say, to your point about walking, Allison, we often underestimate how beneficial walking is and how easy it is. All you have to do is go out your front door. You don't have to be going to a gym and getting hot and sweaty every other day. If you can, that's great. But if you can just walk, it's such a simple change and something everyone can really do.
I mean, I totally cheat too. I'm like, oh, the dog needs to go for a walk.
There you
Check
go.
the box, right?
Right.
You're not, not doing anything. You're taking a long walk. You're getting outside. You're in the sunshine. So,
or take the stairs instead of the elevator. It doesn't have to be complicated.
I loved all those little tidbits that you'll get every now and then. It's like, don't find the closest parking spot to the grocery store. Find the one that's farthest away because you're getting in more steps. Or, just throw in some vegetables into a smoothie that maybe you don't like, but you're going to get the benefits. Like little things you can trick yourself into it. Almost.
Yeah, no, but so I love that. Like with the parking spot. Okay, how easy is that, honestly? Like you park at the end, and at least you walk all the way up to your Target or your Publix or your, Walgreens or whatever.
Or you take the 2 flights of stairs instead of the, short elevator ride. Things like that.
Honestly, people can just make even just a 10-minute commitment, because that 10 minutes is going to grow to 20 minutes. Because I've heard, and maybe I'm wrong about these numbers, but even if it's like 20 minutes of exercise every single day, and 20 minutes, if you think about it, I mean, 20 minutes out of an entire day is nothing.
How much time do we spend scrolling on our phones?
Right.
I think about it that way, and then I guilt myself into it. I'm like, you just sat here for an hour scrolling on Instagram. Go outside. Like, it's easy to do that.
And we're so blessed that we live in such a beautiful state. There really is no excuse. It's not like we're, like out in the snow, or something like that. But so speaking of some of the things that we can do to help, the prevention, why is heart disease more prevalent in women than it is men?
So, cardiovascular disease, it's not that it's more in women, it's just that it is our #1 killer in both men and women. And the thing is that women just don't know and realize that. And because women often don't prioritize ourselves is really a bottom line as well.
And I think it's scary too that you could look at somebody and not know. It's not something that shows. I've met so many women who have shared their heart disease stories or how heart disease has impacted their lives, and you would never know. And I think we have wrong judgment of what looks healthy, and so when you see that, you might say like, well, she looks like she's extremely healthy, and you could have a form of heart disease, which is why knowing your numbers is so important.
And the reality too is there's so many factors outside of just those daily habits that influence your health. So, I'll give an example. You think here of Tropicana Field. We all know Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. When you're looking a mile to 2 miles north of Tropicana Field versus a mile to 2 miles south, there's a 15-year difference in life expectancy.
Wow,
And
you're kidding.
Yeah, and that it's really because there's so many other complex social factors that contribute to an individual's health. So how easy is it for them to get to a grocery store that has fresh produce? You know, are there safe walking paths, things like that? So the Heart Association is really working in that space as well to identify those unique barriers to health that exist for certain populations. And we see Black and Hispanic women tend to be disproportionately impacted, and really trying to make a change there by collaborating with community partners.
And there's a bunch of different, when we're talking about the activities that I'm able to do each week during this campaign to also earn points, advocating for change is one of those things that can be done. There are ways you can get involved with the American Heart Association to speak with your local community and your local leaders to get some of these things changed, which is another way that we can impact our health.
Absolutely, and it's easy. You know, you can write a letter, you can make a phone call. So Amanda, speaking of that, give us a little bit of history about the American Heart Association. It started with 5 cardiologists, you said?
Yeah, it's a great timing because we are coming up on our 100th anniversary. In 2024, the American Heart Association turns 100 years old.
Congratulations.
And you really started with just a few cardiologists that got together and said, people don't know that this is their greatest health risk. We need to do something about it. So it started primarily as an awareness organization. And from there, we really evolved into standardizing patient care. So we work with almost every major hospital with doctors' offices and standardizing the care that a person receives. Research, of course, everything we do is based on science and research. It's really the bedrock of what we do. And as we've evolved over the years, we've really transformed into an organization focused on prevention. So not just helping people to not die from cardiovascular disease, but helping them to live longer, healthier lives. And, you know, that's an evolution we made probably about 25 years ago. And then when you see where we are today, it is hyper-local in the community, figuring out how we can impact change and save lives right here in our backyard.
And well, Allison, I am so, thankful that you reached out to us, and this is in honor of your Aunt Louise, right? Aunt Louise.
My grandma,
Your
yeah.
grandmother,
Yeah.
your grandmother Louise. I'm sorry, I said Aunt Louise, grandmother
you're fine.
Louise.
You got
but-
Louise right.
Yeah, we got the Louise right, So, I mean, again, to reach out to us, to share the story, and of course, we're behind you. 100%. We want to see you in Dallas and be the woman of impact nationally. So we're going to do everything that we can.
Oh, you're so great. Thank you. And thank you for everybody for clicking on the website and checking it out, and any donation you can make, or you can learn a lot there too about what we're talking about. It's not just about the fundraising, it's about the awareness too, and a lot of that information that you can share with your friends and your family and your loved ones so they're aware too. But the donations, we're very thankful for that.
Yes, absolutely. And we have the QR code app. So guys, you might be seeing Allison and I a lot more like at fundraising events, because we have 7 weeks, right?
Yes.
We have 7 weeks.
Yes.
Amanda, it was so great to see you here. And also, we want to congratulate you. You are having a baby.
Yes, a little girl.
A little girl. We're so excited. We don't know the name yet, but Polly, your daughter Polly, is
Yes.
going to be a big sister.
She is.
So
yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you, bride-to-be.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
Thank
coming up
you.
in March. We
I
are so
know.
excited. Love inspiring women. And we thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Please, if you have a story idea, like Allison did, reach out to us. We love sharing stories with the community. I'm on multiple social media platforms. Here we go. You can follow me on all those platforms, and some very exciting news. You can also follow me on Roku now. We have a 24/7 streaming channel. Really appreciate everybody. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. And go, Allison, woman of impact.
Thank you.
Bye. Stay safe.